So it is my distinct pleasure to invite a different group of 4 people up to talk. I'll do brief introductions of them. We'll get into the presentation, and then again, we'll hold Q&A for the end. And as I said, after this session, we'll all be walking across campus, but there's a slide about that later. So presenters are going to be Dr. Abbey Lara, who is an associate professor of pulmonary sciences and critical care medicine and the assistant dean for faculty relations. She's been a faculty member at CU since 2008, and in that time has held a number of both clinical and academic roles. Additionally, she is an MBTI and EQI practitioner skilled in emotional intelligence and personality assessments. Ms. Deanna Schroder is the Associate Director of Human Resources for CUSOM. She's a 30-year veteran of HR and has been with the university for 12 years after previously working in HR leadership position for quasi-governmental, nonprofit, and retail organizations. Ms. Jessica Howard is a senior civil rights investigator and case resolution specialist for the Office of Equity. She has a background in civil rights advocacy with leadership experience in nonprofit organizations. She's committed to fostering a safe and equitable campus environment through addressing issues of discrimination, harassment, and sexual misconduct. And Ms. Melissa Connell has served as the ombuds for the University of Colorado, Denver and Anschutz medical campuses for over 2 decades. As the ombuds, she empowers individuals to address and manage conflicts in a confidential, neutral, informal, independent, and voluntary manner. The Ombuds Office is an excellent starting point for accessing appropriate resources, as well as offering facilitated conversations, mediations, coaching, and brainstorming. With that, Dr. Lara.
Well, good morning, everybody. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Yay. All right, so welcome to CU. All right, so the Office for Faculty Relations is a school and campus-wide service. We are committed to promoting, developing, and maintaining positive work relationships with the idea of all of us being able to achieve that aspirational goal of always coming present with our outstanding professional selves, work in an environment where we are respectful, civil to each other, and are able to work at the top of our scope, clinically, administratively, from a research perspective, and of course, teaching our awesome learners and trainees. So with that, the campus office is, our primary goal is to help those who have been involved in an incident return back to being their best selves and productive selves for the campus community. Just so that you all have a sense of where the office sits, because it's very confusing, we've got a huge campus. The Office for Faculty Relations sits under the executive pillar for the Senior Associate Dean, Faculty, and our Chief Wellbeing Officer. The Office for Faculty Relations, as it relates to School of Medicine faculty, works very closely with our Office for Faculty Affairs and our Office for Faculty Development. And of course, working with our Faculty Work and Culture Optimization Collaborative, all falling under CU Thrive, which is the Offices for Faculty Experience, or OFE. So who are we? So the Assistant Dean for Faculty Relations. We have Bridget Morris. Please stand up, Bridget. Yay, it's a brand new faculty. She is our associate director for the office and has amazing 15 years of experience as an executive coach. And of course, no office can function without our academic affairs coordinator, Jessica Vitez, who's absolutely critical to the work that we do for the office and the school. We have a multitude of different services that are offered for the School of Medicine that are listed here. I'm not going to go into great detail because you probably will all already be overwhelmed with the amount of information, but please note that all this information is on our website. The school uses governing documents to help focus on our commitment to promoting a culture of professionalism here on campus. So all these documents, these are screenshots of our faculty promise, our teacher-learner agreement, and our professionalism code of conduct, all of which have recently been reviewed and updated. And as you all are new faculty within the school, you will all see me at some point in the near future presenting on this work, and I will ask a question of who has read our faculty promise, teacher learner agreement, and professionalism code of conduct. So I'm going to start here by asking, has anyone read these yet? I have some shy, oh, great hands. All right. So all of you will attest to this on an annual basis as faculty. I'm going to repeat that. All of you as faculty will attest to upholding our faculty promise, our teacher learner agreement, and our professionalism code of conduct on an annual basis at our annual performance evaluation, which we refer to as PRISM. So I would encourage you all to read these because you will be held to these standards. So the Office for Faculty Relations, or OFR, helps to advise and support leaders in managing faculty and trainee conduct issues. We help to establish and hold faculty accountable to these standards of excellence. We help to manage allegations of unprofessional behavior or conduct. We help to interpret policy. We maintain a record of precedent, and we help to ensure that a level of action is appropriate for the reports that are reviewed by the office. We track and report data, and we will continue to make referrals to campus resources as appropriate. The office is supported by our Personnel Affairs Committee that are listed here. That includes our Professional Risk Management, or CU, the Office for University Counsel, the Director for Employee Relations and Performance, Chief Medical Officers, because the vast majority of reports that come into the office are within the clinical space, and then of course our Senior Associate Dean for Faculty and our Chief Wellbeing Officer. The office has very specific steps in a tiered that we utilize in order to review cases. We use an evidence-based accountability framework. Every single report that comes into the office is reviewed in a de-identified fashion. This is really important. The reason why it's de-identified is to avoid bias, avoid reputational harm, and to ensure that the committee focuses on the conduct and behavior. So that way we can apply the same restorative action plans as appropriate. We do have an earlier involvement in with our supervisor at a higher level. The committee itself reviews these cases at a later date and less frequency, so they typically will review cases that are more complex. If there is a documented recommended restorative action plan, the committee will review this. We have a written agreement for behavior. When it's acknowledged and verified at a level 2, we will do an inquiry. This is really important. I don't do investigations. The Office for Faculty Relations does not do investigations. There are very few offices and teams that will do a formal investigation, but we will do inquiries. Fancy term for just we're meeting with people to verify information. We also have a clear escalation process if the faculty does not respond or the action is not taken without discussion with the committee. And we have a general communication back to the reporter. The asterisk there is if it's an anonymous report, very, very difficult to gather information and loop flows back to the anonymous reporter. For more information, you can either email our faculty relations at cu.anschutz.edu email, or you can go or submit something on an online report. And here's our QR code. And if we have time, questions. If not
right
send
now.
us an email. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abby. And welcome, Deanna.
Morning. All right, so I'm here to talk to you about HR. We're everybody's favorite office, I know. We have a very decentralized model here at CU. So there are a number of different groups that you might be interacting with. So we have employee services, we have campus HR, we have School of Medicine HR, and then you have department HR in your individual departments. We interact with the Ombuds office and the Office of Faculty Relations and the Office of Equity. So that's why we're all here together. So I'm going to start with employee services. Employee services is at the system level. So they are over the whole school. So they handle benefits and payroll and learning and development, international tax, and then they oversee what we call HCM community. So that is all of the HR business partners across those all 4 campuses. They also do HR for their group downtown, and then they manage all of the leave programs for the university. So Employee Services website is listed here, and you'll get these slides. The ones that you would probably visit the most are the benefits and wellness page, right? That'll tell you all about you probably have already visited these pages. So it tells you about your plans, the documents, the rates, tuition assistance, our wellness programs. CU Advantage is our perks program. I highly recommend you check that out. And then if you have public service loan forgiveness, that's where you get those forms filled out. And then the other couple that you would probably look at is the family and leave pages. So if you need to take leave for any reason, there's a lot of information there. Family is new to Colorado this year, and it is very confusing, and we know that. And so we try to help you out with that, and there's a wealth of information on there. And then professional growth and training. So you have required trainings that you needed to take, with sexual harassment training, information security, all of that is administered through Percipio. So these are they manage the online classes. We also have free LinkedIn Learning and Coursera memberships. So you can take any class through there. There's also some Franklin Covey, and then there's an Excellence in Leadership program that you're eligible for after you've been here for a year. And then HCM Community is for our business partners, and the payroll stuff is generally for the business partners. So you probably need to look at those sites. And then there's Campus HR, or what we call Central HR. And there are 4 teams in our Campus HR group. So talent acquisition and compensation, that's primarily for staff. They primarily handle the staff hiring. Learning and development, so they create classes that are presented around campus. We have a school of medicine cohort for management development as well as HR. The management development is open to everyone. So if you're interested in that, we usually take solicitations for that in January, and then it starts in April. And then employee relations and performance, that's probably the group that you may interact with the most. They handle staff issues. They're available to consult on managing people issues, and they handle discipline. And then human resources operations, those are the folks that just help us get hired, do the background checks, the I-9s, that kind of thing. So there's a variety of landing pages on their website. I would check out the perks site because there's a lot of information on our benefits, the different perks that are available to you, and then childcare and elder care resources, as well as the crisis and mental health resources and our policies. And then there's School of Medicine HR. That's where I come in. So we fall under the Senior Associate Dean for Administration and Finance, Brian Smith, and John Moore, who's our Associate Dean for Administration and Finance. So that's our group falls up underneath them. My boss is Wumi Ogunwo, and you may deal with her. She generally works with the chairs and the DFAs, and then I work with the business partners. So we have a team of about 20 people. There's 8 of us in the School of Medicine HR office, and then we have a shared services. So we provide transactional services to the departments through our HR shared services. So the core team, who we are, so Wumi is the boss lady. I am the associate director. Makidra oversees our HR shared services and our workforce development group. Brendan is our compensation analyst. And then Alicia and Malia are the people that you would, if you email SOMHR a question, they're the ones answering it generally. And then Haley is our recruiter. So I will skip over who does what, but Wumi is basically the fixer. I'm the one that gets the work done. And then Makidra and Brendan have specialized duties. If you have a question on CU Celebrates, that's also me. And then we have an intranet website. The one thing that it's designed for our business partners. So You probably won't visit that very often, except we do have a tile on there for our faculty administrative appointments. So we have administrative appointments throughout the school. Could be a medical director, could be a vice chair of something, could be a section head, whatever. That's where these positions are posted, and that's where you would find out how to apply for those. So it's only on the intranet for those positions. And then we have the department business partners. So those are the people that you probably would start with. So it depends on your department. So some departments have internal staff. Some departments have an HR leader or a liaison, and then they work with HR shared services, and some of them are smaller and they only work, like we work with the DFA directly with HR shared services. So it just kind of depends on your department. HR shared services handles about 1/3 of the school, and it's mostly transactional. And then there's generally a business partner in the department that we work with to coordinate. And then your HR business partner or your DFA can coordinate with employee relations and performance, which again is based in central HR, the Office of Faculty Relations, the Office of Equity, or the Ombuds office. And that's all I got.
Thank you so much for that. And next, Jessica Howard from the Office of Equity.
Hello. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Again, my name is Jessica Howard. I am one of the senior civil rights investigators with the Office of Equity. We serve both the Denver and the Anschutz campus. And so, I think I have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to give you just as much of a high level as I can. The Office of Equity, really our mission is to foster an equitable and safe environment. And we do that through a number of ways, mostly being facilitating case resolutions informally through mediations, but we also conduct impartial investigations, which is part of the work that I do. If there is a concern that rises to the level of needing to do an investigation. But we also offer supportive and safety measures for both faculty, staff, and students, as well as provide prevention education for departments and groups as well, if need be. So to just give you an overview of who we are, by law, every campus is required to have a Title IX coordinator. And so for the Title IX coordinator for Anschutz in Denver, that is Elizabeth Schrock. We also, and she again oversees all things Office of Equity for both campuses. We also have 3 investigators, including myself, Jen Hewsome and Connell Mitchell. And again, we are the ones that sort of oversee the investigations phase if we have any preliminary inquiries, any educational conversations, and so forth. Our office also has an intake coordinator, Paulina. She is usually going to be the first contact for our office when anyone has a concern, and we'll go into that a little bit. We also have a supportive and safety measures coordinator, Greg Foster, and then each campus has a prevention and education outreach coordinator for the office, or for CU Anschutz, that would be Mars Cruz. And so for the big piece or takeaway for this group is that because you're faculty and you have the authority to evaluate, grade, and advise students, you would be considered responsible employees. And what that means under our policy, which again, the policies that we cover are responsible for are our non-discrimination policies as well as our sexual misconduct policies. And so as responsible employees and faculty, you have to notify the Office of Equity whenever you become aware of any concerns of discrimination or harassment based off of a protected class, or whether that be race, sex, gender, religion, age. There's a long list of protected classes. If you get a concern from any faculty, student, or whatnot, we ask that you report that to the Office of Equity. You're also responsible for reporting any concerns of retaliation due to making a complaint about discrimination or harassment, as well as any concerns about sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking. So just again, an overview. And to know again that even as responsible employees, this office is also for you as well, if you have your own concerns of just anything that falls under our discrimination or sexual misconduct policies. So what does it mean to notify the Office of Equity? What this means is that when you notify us, we will do an initial outreach. The Office of Equity will do an initial outreach to the person who is affected by the alleged behavior and to the person referring the behavior to the Office of Equity, which would be yourself. We would be providing supportive resources like connecting folks to either counseling or to the ombuds or even to Dr. Lara if that falls under her office. We also will offer an invitation to the person who is allegedly affected by the behavior if they would like to meet with an investigator or with our intake coordinator. And also, when it comes to the information, it's only shared with people on a need-to-know basis, which is usually the folks within the office, or if need be, anyone else who might have information related to the concern that's raised. What notifying the Office of Equity does not do is it doesn't initiate an immediate investigation that usually has a preliminary process of its own to determine whether it rises to an investigation. And most importantly, it does not promise confidentiality because of the concerns that we cover, particularly under Title IX requires a due process. And so if something does need to be investigated, that wouldn't necessarily be confidential. And certainly if you have more questions as to what that means, happy to answer that for you. So how to notify us? Certainly you can fill out our form. If you go to our website, there's a form you can fill out, providing just the information that you know, or you can email us directly at equity@cuanschutz.edu. But we also have a phone number as well that you can reach out to us if there is a concern that requires for you to contact us. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And lastly, for this panel, let's hear from the ombuds.
Good morning, everyone. Have y'all heard of the Ombuds Office before? Anyone heard that term before? There's several different types of ombuds. So I'm the one slide speaker. I've just got one slide for you, so try to make this fast. Ombuds Office sees up to 800 visitors a year on both the Denver and Anschutz campus. On the Anschutz campus, about 62% of our visitors come from the School of Medicine. So I'm going to encourage all of you to take our phone number down. It's on the slide, but I also would encourage you to put our phone number in your contact list as well as all of these phone numbers. Because what's going to happen is you're going to need us maybe one of these days. And you're going to want to be able to reach us and you're going to think, gosh, what's that? Ombuds? Was it, ombuds, ombudsperson? Phone number 303-724-2950. Some of y'all will probably end up meeting with us. I'm going to give you the quick 4 cornerstones of our office, and then I'm going to tell you a hypothetical that may or may not have happened here to end my little chat. First thing is that we are confidential. We're one of the only offices that are confidential on this campus. What that means to our office is that anything that you and I discuss remains between the two of us, unless you give me permission to talk to someone else and unless I then agree to do so. As you all know, there are always exceptions to confidentiality, which include imminent harm, danger, and to the extent the law allows. If we're dealing with anything like that, I'm going to do my best to continue to help you, just cannot promise that I can guarantee confidentiality at that point in time. We're also informal. We don't keep any records. After our conversation, if you decide to file a formal grievance or give the institution any type of notice, I'm not the person to do that, but I will certainly help you find the right individuals. We are neutral. Just means I'm not allowed to advocate for you. If you're looking for an advocate, I will certainly do my best to help you with that. We are also voluntary, which means no one can be told they're not allowed to come to our office. So even if you're told you're not allowed to come to our office, you're still allowed to come to our office, okay? Also, no one is required to come to our office. In the past, it hasn't happened for a while, but some people have been sent to our office as some sort of disciplinary action. That's not going to happen. You come there, you tell me this is disciplinary action. I'm going to say, you want to stay, you want to go. Usually people stay and we have a nice conversation, but you're never required to come to our office. We are independent, really means it's an interesting job. No one's allowed to ask us who we've met with, who we have not met with, what have we spoken about, what have we not spoken about. We do put out an annual report, but that's with non-identifying factors. So that's what we do. Again, 303-724-2950. And some of the cases we deal with crazy cases, we deal with interesting cases. We take all of the cases very seriously. I had an individual who came in one time complaining because their colleague was a whistler. And this was very bothersome to them. It really did bother them and it affected their work. And so we talked about it and I said, well, tell me more about this. And they said, well, I've researched whistlers. Do you want to know about a whistler? I'm like, yes, I do. Tell me about a whistler. Well, they're very happy people. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's good. And they're like, and I don't care. I don't care that they're happy because it's affecting my work. So they came and we were able to work with their colleague who said, yes, I am a whistler and I'm not going to stop whistling. But we came up with a reasonable compromise for both of the colleagues. All right, so that's a simple issue. We go to very serious issues as well. And again, every issue we take very, very seriously. So we're also a good resource. Before you come to all these wonderful offices, you may want to come to us first because we are confidential and we can send you to the appropriate office. And we all do. We all, yes, please go to this office or please go to that office. So we're a good start for you. And to end with is just a hypothetical. We do a lot of hypotheticals around here that may or may not have happened at this institution. I'm going to share it as though it did because it's easier to do so. I had a visitor, so I've been here 25 years. I had a visitor many, many years ago who came in and was sharing that they were in a very difficult work environment. And it was very serious and toxic and abrasive and became abusive, became in some instances, physically abusive. And at that point in time, didn't know what to do or how to ask questions or when to ask questions. And this person came into the office crying, which I think happens to a lot of us. People come to our office, they're very emotional, very upset. Finally got to the point after about 30 minutes or so is, well, how long has this been going on? And the person said to me, 23 years. And I couldn't even tell this story for a while without tearing up because it broke my heart that someone had been in such a toxic work environment for such a long time and didn't realize that there were options and resources to help them out with this situation. So I want to end with that to let you all know, I don't want any of you to be going through conflict or any type of difficult situation for 23 years, even a year. So I encourage all of you to reach out sooner rather than later. And guess what I'm going to end with? Phone number 303-724-2950. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And just for anyone who did not catch that phone number, you will have access to the slides afterwards. So all of these resources are available. We are running just on time. So if there's one question, I think we have time for that. Otherwise, we may need to move on to get you all to your breakouts. Please join me in thanking again our panel of excellent speakers.